Hey guys, Ghazzy TV here with another Path of Exile video leading into 3.22 Trial of the Ancestors. In this one, we're going to talk about the Poison SRS build, which is going to be the meta minion build in 3.22 League. And as many of you guys already know, I am the one who is making the written build guide from Balormage's Poison SRS build. Couple of things I wanted to bring up and talk about real quick in this video. But before I do so, to check out Balormage's video about this with the original creator, the guy that I'm making the written guide for, check out the link in the descriptions down below. There's a link to the written guide that I'm writing, which will be updated before the league launches. The few things I wanted to talk about is the questions I've been receiving, whether or not we're supposed to use fresh beat support. The answer is fuck no. They give you the buffs of crit and crit multi, both of which does not apply to our dots approach for Poison SRS. However, it does increase the hit damage, which would be rather attractive for the high-end version, which hit the poison cap already. But the problem here is the minions created by supporter skill gains Wake and Fury and Adrenaline for 10% of their duration, up to a maximum of 10 seconds. So we're going to take a look at the low-budget version and do this, and we can see that we have a 12.309 second duration of our minions. That means that the fresh meat support would last 1.23 seconds. So that's why we're not going to use it. It's completely irrelevant. Patch notes made a slight nerf to the build, making it have slightly lower efficiency from temporal chains, which means that once you transition into a poison variant, it's going to be a little worse than it was before. Still very respectable damage output, so you're not going to notice this once you have more investment to the character either, so you'll be perfectly fine. I do want to point out and show you how the build structure will be in the PUBs that you'll see updated soon enough in the written guide, and that is that the Balormage's build, I have small differences, and I want to point them out in this video. First things first, this is the low budget tree, in which we're going to have a medium budget tree as well. There's low budget and medium budget skills, but there's two of this. Same thing in the gear setup. So the first things first, we have a low budget gear setup before SIS. That is Severed in Sleep, which is the bread and butter of this build in the endgame. We are just using a generic wand and a tabula rasa or whatever rare chest piece you can get your hands on. This is the low budget approach, in which you're going to have to get jewels that provide you with percent chance to poison on hit. Now you can go to poison version of this even before you hit 100% chance to poison. It's not really recommended to do it too soon. Be a little bit cautious there. The higher percent chance to poison you have, the more damage you'll be able to do. So you want to make sure you have jewels to supply this modifier. However, in the initial start, we are using tabulas. There's a 6-link setup for bossing, one for clearing, which is using splash, for example, in the PUB. Very easy to navigate, and the written guide goes through everything in detail. So what then happens is that I have a low budget version when we finally get Severed in Sleep. In this version, I have made the slight change from Balormage's approach, and that is that I'm actually going with the dendrobate. You don't need dendrobate. You can play with a rare version, and the efficiency differences are very small. Now, the reason I'd like to keep the dendrobate in this guide is very simple, for two simple reasons. One, it provides chance to poison support, which helps you with the poison chance without using the support gem, which means that if you have a 5-link dendrobate, you're essentially playing on a 6-link. And the other reason is that there is no life modifier on this chest piece, which allows you to use the life mastery that gives you 15% life if there are no life modifiers on your body armor. This, to me, makes it a perfect opportunity to use for newer players and casual players alike, or low-budget seekers that want to play as low-budget as possible because of how cheap dendrobate is. And this is why we're going to use this in the low and medium-budget version. Again, you don't have to in case it gets expensive, but I still think that this is going to be very cheap, and therefore I'm going to have it in my version of the written guide for his build. He does not have this in his current PUB last I checked, though. Skill-wise, when we go into a 5-link dendrobate, we have that set up in the PUB as well, so you know what to do. And the next step would be to move into the medium budget. Once you're in medium budget, I am still using dendrobate, and the skill link is now a 6-link dendrobate instead. And this is how we're going to progress the approach and change the skill tree into using a cluster, which will also have Blessed Rebirth. This is how we're going to operate with a build when it comes to the progression of it, and I think that the dendrobate fits that role very well. Keep in mind that modifiers such as spell suppression and chaos resistance are very attractive even in the early stage, so you don't easily discard them as you progress your character in the game. And then once we move from this state into the high budget version, we're going to be making sure that we have 100% chance to spell suppression, we're capping our poison damage, and we're doing 55 million shaper DPS. But most importantly, the dendrobate is now in the trash can, and we're replacing it with the Covenant, which I'm expecting to be hilariously expensive because of the fact that this is going to be the best minion build you can play in 3.22. I don't want to prolong this video too much. I just wanted to explain why we're not using fresh meat. We're not using Guardian's Blessing either, simply because we're actually using a Divine Blessing already, and you're capped to having one Blessing aura, so that doesn't matter. We already got that covered. And I also want to make sure that you guys understand that this is Balormage's build. A link to his video is in the description down below. I am the one making the written guide for him, but I have these small changes as I outlined in this video. And that's all I have for you today with this Poison SRS video. Hope you liked it. Let me know in the comments below if you're going to play Poison SRS or not. And hit the like button, subscribe for more content. So till next time, as always, stay safe and keep rocking.